Hello everybody, my name is Shumu and this is my review of the greatest video game ever made. First off, I will start by presenting the contents of the limited edition and then I'll walk you through the most important aspects of the game, basically everything you need to know about it. And last, you'll have two trailers to further accommodate you with the game's universe. Of course, I'm talking about The Longest Journey. I would like to mention from the start that The Longest Journey is much more than a game. It's more like a book, a movie, and a game all rolled into one. The Longest Journey and its sequel, Dreamfall, compose unarguably the greatest story ever told in the gaming industry. It is balanced with enough detail without feeling overwhelming. The game is set in two worlds: Stark, a futuristic and somewhat sci-fi Earth, and Arcadia, a lush, magic dream world. Both are excellently well written, detailed, consistent, and interesting. In this limited collector's edition, I'll start with the DVD box. Inside, we find the user guide. This provides various information about both games. What is really valuable here is represented by a short background of each of the three main characters from Dreamfall, a little summary of the story so far, and most importantly, for those of you who already played both games but still have some unanswered questions, you find here some info about the world of Stark post-collapse, a short history of Arcadia and Marcuria, and finally certain concepts and corporations mentioned in the game that weren't very explicit. For example, what is the Static, the Wire, Wati Corp, or the Syndicate and the Eye. Further on, the guide focuses on the controls of the game, which, to be honest, are very easy to understand. Now the DVDs. We have the first game in the series, named The Longest Journey. This is a reissue of the 1999 4CD edition, and as you can see, we have it on one DVD here. The second game in the series, Dreamfall, is on the next DVD, and last but definitely not least, we've got the Dreamfall soundtrack, which I will get into in just a few moments. Next we have the concept art, which is a hardcover book. The foreword by the game's director Ragnar Tornquist is quite amazing and perfectly complemented by Christer Sveen, the art director. That's something definitely worth checking out. Now I'll browse ahead through the book and you can see different concept art from the early stages of Dreamfall leading up to the finished product. The story of The Longest Journey might seem a bit simplistic at first. There are two worlds, one of science, one of magic, and the Guardian to keep watch of the balance between them. The Guardian abandons his position and the balance is starting to crumble. An 18-year-old art student, April Ryan, happens to be the chosen one, with a mission to save the world. The plot actually turns out to be far from superficial. In fact, it unfolds in such a gradual and natural way that feels very compelling and intriguing. Dreamfall is, first and foremost, a triumph of interactive storytelling. This will come as no surprise to those who felt that The Longest Journey was a similar accomplishment back in 1999, but the sequel has raised the bar further still, both in focus and in presentation. The game begins with a young woman named Zoe Castillo, a university dropout living at home in the futuristic city of Casablanca. Comfortable but bored, Zoe had lost her motivation and any sense of purpose in life. That is, until she agrees to help a friend with a seemingly innocent errand and begins to see genuinely unnerving images of a little girl on electronic screens begging her to save April. There's not a lot more I can say without starting to spoil the game's many layers of mystery, but suffice to say that Zoe soon finds herself caught up in an escalating adventure of dream technology that has her running all across the world and beyond it. The characters. While in The Longest Journey you have control over the main character, April Ryan, in Dreamfall, as you progress, you'll discover three stories from three completely different characters: Zoe Castillo, Kian Albani, and April Ryan. This attention to character isn't limited only to the central few. Almost everyone in the game has been infused with individual personalities and backstories that really help make the worlds come alive. It's not they who are there to propel your story, but you who have arrived in theirs to affect it. The soundtrack. Funcom, the game's developer and publisher, has always been a big believer in the power of music to enhance the game experience, so they have created a soundtrack that melts perfectly with the storyline. The music, at appropriate points, manages to be atmospheric, mysterious, dramatic and epic, all to better immerse the gamer into the fantastic universe that is The Longest Journey. Dreamfall's soundtrack, in its completeness, is a great orchestral masterpiece. All things considered, I would also recommend to you the first game's soundtrack, which is a bit more varied and contains 5 truly amazing songs which will leave an incredibly positive impact on you. Voice acting. A strong script and subtle performances by a great cast give this story-driven game its unusually strong dramatic leverage. The voice actors are all perfectly suited to their respective characters. They did an admirable job in lending personality to the characters and making them not only interesting but alive. Gameplay and genre. In short, The Longest Journey is a classic point-and-click adventure game released in 1999, while its sequel, Dreamfall, released in 2006, is a third-person action-adventure. Both games have easy-to-understand controls, the main focus being on the story and character development as you advance. In conclusion, embark on a voyage across phenomenal worlds, encounter a fantastic cast of unforgettable characters, and unravel one of the most epic stories ever told. The game challenges your views on religion, politics, and life in general throughout the course of its unfolding. As the story goes on, you subconsciously evolve with the characters that you'll gradually get attached to and relate to in such a way which makes it hard to conceive that a video game can leave such a lasting impression.